Hi, I'm Pat Dougherty with AP Belt Tennis Training. We're here at the Bolletary Tennis Academy to talk to you about leverage and leverage alignment to the ball. I've got this leverage band on here just to represent the angle of leverage we want between the forearm and the racket through the stroke, particularly at contact point. With an Eastern grip, the palm of the hand is supported by the forearm. As I come underneath the grip a little bit, the fat part of the thumb starts to support it a little better. And with a Western grip, they get leverage this way. It's still in there though. And this basically regulates particularly well on an Eastern and semi-Western grip, maintaining this angle of leverage even as we apply topspin in a windshield wiper waving type of motion. So what it does is it enables us to do this, and it fights the tendency to want to snap the wrist. Now, some players snap the wrist because they feel they're getting extra power. A big problem I see in a lot of the semi-Western grips is as they're coming into contact, that elbow stops and then they start this thing around. Well, I'm already getting tension out of this rubber band right now, trying to crack the whip of this racket head into the ball. Whatever little power you get, it's at the price of losing control and accuracy. The other reason why sometimes we break down on leverage has to do with alignment to the ball. Sometimes you can't help but have to snap the wrist just to make a contact when you're out of alignment with the ball. So let's look at those different situations. So how do we want to align to the ball? Let's take the analogy of a baseball batter who has the luxury of setting up in the box prior to the pitch being thrown. If he had to start outside the box, which foot would he enter the box with first? Well, you'd see the batters start by entering the box with the back foot. This gives them the option to step in and drive their weight into the pitch. In tennis, this is a neutral stance. Could a batter hit from this stance if the pitch was thrown so quickly they didn't have time to step in? Sure they could. And they might even create the same neutral finish on the follow-through. That's what tennis players have to deal with. Primarily, the open stance is used when they don't have enough time to set up the stance any further. So you'll see it against hard servers, you'll see it on return, you'll see it in deep penetrating rallies when you're playing an opponent that hits really hard. The other player is going to be hitting a lot from the open stance. It's a required element in today's game. So when we're in the box, either in an open stance or a neutral stance, it shares the same contact point and gives us the luxury of a nice long contact zone to work with when striking the ball. Now, let's go back to the closed stance. The closed stance is the equivalent of that batter entering the batter's box with the front foot, never establishing the back foot in the box at all. That changes completely their relationship to the incoming pitch and affects where they're going to be directing their power to try to strike the ball. Same happens to a tennis player. So, the two recommended stances you should be able to hit out of are the open and to be able to come forward and drive into that front leg to strike the ball in a neutral stance. Now let's look at the contact zone when we're in that relationship to the ball. If I'm in an open or a neutral stance, my hand's pretty close to being behind that line of flight. And I'm able to drive and create most of my power through this contact zone, boom, and extend that thing where I'm maintaining leverage the whole way, and I can enjoy a contact zone of about 18 inches maximum. Now you divide that down to where the beginning part is inside out to down the line. The middle third would be towards the middle of the court, and the third closest towards the net would be cross courts and angles. And when you can enjoy an 18-inch contact zone, that gives you the feel of great control and accuracy. The key thing here is to understand that the wrist shouldn't be active here, trying to snap through, and thus if you've got clean strokes, you should be able to hit with this on. So we want to be able to extend that contact zone as much as possible. And what you'll see is that the power for the big hitting players on TV, their power is starting more out at the ball in the preparation, the take back of the racket, and it's coming across their body this way in relation to that ball, and that way they're able to power through the line that they're driving the ball back on, as opposed to powering to the line that the ball's traveling in on. So if you work on your preparation and simplifying your backswings, it'll help in a number of ways. What I see happen a lot with the kids here at the academy is they spend 90% of their time practicing generating their own power. Well, in this game today, there's a lot of power coming at you. You need to spend a lot of time practicing playing against incoming power. And when you do that, it's going to help you reduce the amount of backswing to where you almost eliminate it completely in some instances and just block that incoming power back into play. It's going to help you with your return to serve because you have to be able to abbreviate the ground stroke takeback to be able to play close to the baseline and deal with a lot of power coming from the other side of the net. One of the drills that I really like for practicing strengthening your pulling power across your chest in the direction of the line of flight of the ball is to use these 2-pound weights. And you can actually practice just shoving them across your chest in this fashion. And this will help you strengthen these muscles in here to be able to pull across your body a little bit better. So, better alignment to the ball, working with the open and the neutral stances. Getting that hand almost out behind the ball flight so that you can drive through it, maintain leverage, and get a full 18-inch contact zone out of your strokes. Keep working on this. Good luck.